Today is Friday, February 13, 2026. I'm Tom Worth. I wanted to get into Trump's cabinet, Kristi Noem, the mismanagement of DHS and FEMA, in this brutal hit piece by the Wall Street Journal. Again, they strike at night. This was published 9 p.m. Eastern last night in the Journal, which is extraordinarily Trump-friendly, especially on the editorial side. But as previously stated, they do have some investigative journalists who try to get to the bottom of things, even when they're unfavorable to Trump. And this most certainly is. She's got this reported romantic involvement with Corey Lewandowski. Now, he was back one of Trump's campaign managers in the first Trump go-around in the 2016 election. He's, my age, our age for people who are my age watching this. He's 52 right now. I'm a little older than that. But he was dating Hope Hicks at the time, who was born in 1988, 15 years younger than him. 15 years is a large number. She went to SMU. She's from the Northeast. But they were romantically involved, and Hope Hicks was a Trump favorite. She's the girl who cried during one of Trump's trials recently before he was reelected president and found guilty on all counts, convicted felon, because she knew that what she was saying would incriminate him, but she was telling the truth. And it pained her to such an extent that she broke down in tears on the witness stand, having to tell the truth about the things Trump did. She loves Trump, and he loved her. I was looking at some background about her and Corey Lewandowski's relationship before I get into him and Kristi Noem, who are both married, by the way, Lewandowski and Noem. They are more age appropriate, if that matters to anyone. She's a little older than him by a few years, but their romance continues. Hicks and Lewandowski's flamed out, and she was worried about him at the time. Hope Hicks was, for some reason, and was expressing some concern about him to Trump. And Trump's comment to her, father figure that he was, you can see where all the loyalty comes out. This was in a book about Trump. Quote, Trump, who otherwise seemed to treat Hicks in a protective and even paternal way, looked up and said, "Why? You've already done enough for him. You're the best piece of tail he'll ever have," sending Hicks running from the room. That's the kind of guy Trump is. That's how he sees all women. And when there were rumors of the romantic links between Lewandowski and Noem that were getting kind of out of hand, Trump, of course, is well aware of things like this that people are doing. To acknowledge it, he said that Lewandowski has a habit of batting out of his league, referring to Hicks, now referring to Noem. Again, Noem and Lewandowski are married. And he was smart enough, Trump was, to not let them actually report to each other. Lewandowski, he's in the private sector. He wanted to be Kristi Noem's chief of staff. Just so they could be together. And Trump said, "No, you're not doing that. That would look bad. Try to keep a lid on it." But everybody knows what went on between them, apparently. This Wall Street Journal piece came out last night is great. It's really about Noem, and it's just such a great hit piece with DHS staffers. And then you will also have a DHS spokesperson just weigh in and say, that's not true, or that didn't happen, or we're not going to talk about that. But where there's smoke, there's fire. We all know this. She has been trying to get rid of FEMA ever since she was confirmed. She just says it's a big waste of time, big waste of money. Her biggest complaint about them in this first year last year was they were not dismantling it fast enough. However, back on January 23rd of this year, a year after Trump was inaugurated, she attended her first in-person FEMA meeting because of this big storm that was going to hit the Southeast. And she wanted to excoriate them for not working quickly enough and not doing enough. And her main concern was that they not use the word ice in the impending snow and ice storm at all in their media reports or their messaging, because right now ice wasn't having good connotations in the minds of American citizens. So I just want to get across to you, FEMA, that in everything you do that is inadequate, just make sure you don't use the word ICE in any of your correspondence or communications with the media. That's Kristi Noem. She was, of course, removed from heading up things in Minnesota. She had her handpicked guy, Bavino, who everyone told her would be a disaster. She wanted Bavino to do it anyway. And then Bavino was replaced with Tom Homan at Trump's order. Trump knows that Tom Homan gets the job done. In the next cabinet meeting after that happened, this was all after the Alex Pretty shooting, in the cabinet meeting, everyone goes around and speaks, everyone except for Kristi Noem. She was the only one kept silent in that meeting. Trump was really pissed at her. She still has her job somehow. She's taken over for her residence. She's moved to a house that's normally reserved for the head of the Coast Guard. She's commandeered it for herself. Corey Lewandowski is over there all the time. They did have houses across the street from each other. He was seen all the time walking back and forth across the street. He is one of Trump's special government employee who is not a confirmed position. It's just someone who's in the private sector and keeps their private sector paycheck. It's what Elon Musk was. And they have a limit of 130 days to serve in this capacity. Corey Lewandowski wants to be with Kristi Noem all the time, and he'd gone past his 130 days, and he had taken to not swiping his badge at government facilities because he doesn't want to count that as one of his 130 days. So a lot of DHS employees said he was there a lot longer than 130 days, but he wasn't swiping in, so it wasn't triggering anything. However, he was just named to be another special government employee for 2026, so he'll get another 130 days. The other thing about Lewandowski is he's very protective of Noem. Again, they're married, right? Each of them are married. And when she left a blanket behind, this was the headline of the article, when she left a blanket behind on a Coast Guard plane, she was so incensed that she fired the pilot of the plane. The pilot was a Coast Guard pilot. She fires him because she's so annoyed. However, quickly had to reinstate him because there was no other way for her to get home. He was flying the jet that she was on. Apparently, her and Lewandowski just said, "You're fired. You need to go find a commercial transport home. You're out of here right now." But before the guy could secure his own transportation home, he gets a call. "Oh, by the way, you're not fired anymore. We need you to fly us home." These are just perfect Trump people at every turn. This is just them going about their daily existences. She's on this very lavish jet. It's got a private cabin in the back where her and Lewandowski sit. Who are their spouses? How are they married to Kristi Noem? How are you married to Corey Lewandowski? I don't know, but they are. Corey Lewandowski has also had this fixation on guns and apparently now badges. It's like a child, right? Back in 1999, he brought in, while working for Congressman Bob Nye, he was arrested for bringing a loaded handgun into a House office building. He said it was an accident. The charges were dismissed. He was arrested. He had a sexual assault complaint against him in 2017, accused of assault and stalking at a charity event in Vegas in 2021. This is all Corey Lewandowski. While serving as Trump's campaign manager in 2016, he was charged with misdemeanor battery after video surveillance showed him forcibly grabbing a reporter for Breitbart News. One of the things that Noem is on the hook for is building the border wall and taking care of our border security. And when funding was passed in December, there was $46.5 billion that must be spent by 2029 on border wall, among other priorities. And there was a contract that sat on her desk for so long. She's always accused of just not working, not doing anything, just trying to be on TV and wear hats and look tough, have the lighting just right. She spent $200 million on a commercial campaign, her and Lewandowski did, to boost her profile. Trump was pretty pissed about that. He does keep an eye on dollars when it's related to other people, not related to himself. But he was annoyed at that and wondering who approved that. And they blamed it on someone else, of course. But there was funding there. There was a contract sitting on her desk starting in December, and she didn't get around to signing it until February 10th, approving the purchase of steel for the border wall. And in the amount of time it sat at her desk with her just not doing her job, the price of that steel went up by $100 million. It's what she cost taxpayers in that one instance. She's been accused by the governors of Florida and Georgia, Republican governors, of not returning their calls during disaster response times. Of course, DHS says she's never not returned a call from any Republican governors. But they themselves, Kemp and DeSantis's people, say she doesn't return their calls when they need to hear from her. Then we get to the badge and the gun fixation for Lewandowski. Again, this is from the Journal hit piece. The pair have fired or demoted roughly 80% of the career ice field leadership that was there when they started. They're getting rid of everyone. Lewandowski made it known to top ICE officials he wanted to be issued a law enforcement badge and a federally issued gun. Like a child, he wants a badge. Officials are typically only issued a badge and a gun after undergoing law enforcement training, which he, of course, did not. So the administration was preparing to bring on a former top ICE official in New York as its new director. Lewandowski asked Guy if he'll give him and several other political officials badges and guns. The guy says no, and he was subsequently passed over for this top job. Then he goes to ICE's legal office for help in a legal justification. The top ICE lawyer refuses to sign off. Days later, he was placed on administrative leave. Later demoted and moved to FEMA, which of course is what they're trying to get rid of entirely, FEMA. Eventually, got some lawyers to sign off on his badge. The gun request remains held up. The article ends, still, Lewandowski has been spotted by DHS staff sporting a badge emblazoned with the words Homeland Security. So great. It's too good not to share with you all. Noem is just cruel. She's just outright, she's just Trump, right? She's just out for her image. She's out to be on TV. She's out to cheat on her spouse, and just to be cruel to people. And that, she's just a Trump clone. That's why I don't see calls for her firing going anywhere. Trump loves people like Noem and Lewandowski. Maybe he'll get rid of them at some point, but he'll always keep them close by. He respects them. That's what he looks for in people. He just likes them. They're like him, and that's what he respects, unfortunately. So I don't know that they're going anywhere or not. Once they start making him look too bad, I think things are back on track as far as Trump's concerned, with Homan in charge. But I don't know. We'll see where all this goes. This is who Kristi Noem wants to hang out with. He has been helping her up her profile. They got close during the campaign because she has her own presidential aspirations. So he is all about making her look good. She, for her part, is obsessed with having her staff count the number of times she's on TV as compared to Tom Homan, and heads are rolling if he's on TV more times than she is on TV. This is who the head of the DHS is, and Trump's okay with all of it, apparently. He has no plans to fire her that we know of. All she's doing is making him look bad at every turn, and she has Corey Lewandowski's help. Unfortunately, Trump idolizes Corey Lewandowski for batting way out of his league and for the tail he is able to secure. Trump's words, not mine. This is what Trump values. Okay, thanks for watching. Really appreciate it. Give it a like and subscribe if you haven't already. I'll be doing at least one video from the Munich Security Conference, which kicked off this afternoon, Munich time. And I watched a few hours worth of speeches and roundtables already. Look forward to that or not. I know a lot of you aren't really clicking on the foreign policy stuff I put out there sometimes. And that's actually what I was sitting down to record this morning. But I came across the Noem and Lewandowski thing, and I just thought, this is just too good. Let's just go into a little bit of this, and that's what we did instead. So thanks for watching, and we'll talk later.